A pleasant day to everyone. So we will be discussing the chapter 1 of the Guide to Good Manufacturing Practice for Medicinal Products titled Pharmaceutical Quality System. Let's begin with the outline of this discussion. So first would be the principle. Next, Pharmaceutical Quality System, GMP, the quality control, the product quality review, and lastly would be the quality risk management. This is the principle or the foundational statements that need to be done. So, the holder of a manufacturing authorization must manufacture medicinal products so as to ensure that they are fit for the intended use, comply with the requirements of the marketing authorization or clinical trial authorization as appropriate, and do not place patients at risk due to inadequate safety, quality, or efficacy. The attainment of this quality objective is the responsibility of senior management and requires the participation and commitment by staff in many different departments and at all levels within the company, by the company's suppliers, and by its distributors. To achieve this quality objective reliably, there must be a comprehensively designed and correctly implemented pharmaceutical quality system incorporating good manufacturing practice and quality risk management. It should be fully documented and its effectiveness monitored. All parts of the pharmaceutical quality system should be adequately resourced with competent personnel and suitable and sufficient premises, equipment, and facilities. There are additional legal responsibilities for the holder of the manufacturing authorization and for the authorized person or persons. Furthermore, the basic concepts of quality management, good manufacturing practice, and quality risk management are interrelated. They are described here in order to emphasize the relationships and their fundamental importance to the production and control of medicinal products.
We proceed to the pharmaceutical quality system. Quality management covers all matters which influence the quality of a product. So basically, ang quality management ay yung kabuuhan ng lahat ng mga arrangements sa mga arrangement na ginagawa natin para ma-ensure na ma-attain yung required quality ng isang medicinal product. This means yung isang term na concern natin which is good manufacturing practice is under the quality management. So, the second one, we have good manufacturing practice. Sabi dito, ang GMP ay na-apply sa life cycle stages ng product, which is yung development, introduction, growth, maturity, and then decline. Pero sabi ng International Conference on Harmonization, pwede na rin siya ma-apply sa pharmaceutical development, which is yung from drug discovery hanggang post-market monitoring. Some benefits nito is facilitating innovation on drugs and also mastering yung link ng development at saka manufacturing activities. So the third one, ang sabi dito na when making a pharmaceutical quality system, kailangan natin i-consider ang size and complexity ng kumpanya. And also sa system, dapat incorporate dito yung mga kinakailangan na risk management principle and kasama na din ang appropriate tools. Also, yung effectiveness ng system na ginawa natin na o-observe or na-measure base sa performance on each site. So, for the fourth one, ito ang kinakailangan i-ensure ng pharmaceutical quality system. First is product realization or your life cycle of product is that dapat under sa system that allows the consistent na pa-deliveran ng products with the appropriate quality. Second is dapat ma-manage yung product and process knowledge throughout, which means that all personnel is dapat alam nila ang expected na product nila and yung process kung paano to gawin. For the third one, dapat yung medicinal product design and develop is following the good manufacturing practice. Next is dapat yung production and control operation is still dapat naka-adapt yung good manufacturing practice. For the fifth one, the managerial responsibilities are clearly specified, which means dapat nasa mga higher na position is dapat will define yung kanilang mga duties in sakop nila. For the sixth one, in the system, dapat kailangan naka-arrange na yung pag-acquire and paggamit ng lahat ng mga materials, starting in packaging materials. Kung merong suppliers, dapat well selected and monitor, and also dapat each delivery is verified that they are from the approved supply chain. For the 7-1 is dapat nakamanage na din yung mga outsourced activities such as advertising, merchandising, sales, and everything. Next is kailangan magkaroon ng monitoring and control system para sa performance sa process and sa quality ng product. For the 9-1, need i-take account lahat ng results of product and services to avoid irregularities in the future. Next, all necessary controls on intermediate products and any other in-process controls and validations are carried out.
So in continuation from the Roman numeral 11 to 13, it basically just talks that a pharmaceutical quality system appropriate for the manufacture of medicinal products should ensure that continual improvement is facilitated appropriate to the current level of process and product knowledge, that the prospective evaluation of planned changes should be approved prior to their implementation, and after the implementation, confirmation of achieving the quality objectives is evaluated to ensure that there's no harmful impact on product quality. For number 14, it states that during investigation of deviations, product defects, and other problems, a root cause analysis should be applied. So if the issue cannot be determined, then considerations is utilized to identify the most likely cause in order to address them. But when it's identified that the cause is due to human error, then it should be justified having taken care of to ensure that it has not been overlooked. From Roman numeral 15 to 17, it states that before an authorized person has certified that the production batch has been produced and controlled according to the requirements and relevant regulations, medicinal products are not sold or supplied, that arrangements are made to ensure that medicinal products are stored, distributed, and handled properly, and that self-inspection and quality audit appraises the effectiveness and applicability of the pharmaceutical quality system. So next, from 1.5 to 1.7, it states that the senior management has the ultimate responsibility to ensure effective pharmaceutical quality system is in place and that their leadership also guarantee the support of all the staff. Also, periodic management review is crucial to identify opportunities for improvement of products, processes, and system, and that the pharmaceutical quality system should be defined and documented. So now, let's proceed to the good manufacturing practice for medicinal products.
Hello, so for this part, this is the good manufacturing practice for medicinal products. Good manufacturing practice is that part of quality management which ensures that products are consistently produced and controlled to the quality standards appropriate to their intended use and as required by the marketing authorization, clinical trial authorization, or product specification. Good manufacturing practice is concerned with both production and quality control. So, as for this, good manufacturing practice is part siya ng quality management na nag-ensure na lahat ng mga products ay consistent and controlled in accordance sa standards na required ng marketing and clinical trial authorization. All in all, good manufacturing practice is all about making sure na tama yung process ng production and lahat ng mga na-produce ay papasa sa quality control. So, for the basic requirements for good manufacturing practice is number 1. All manufacturing processes are clearly defined, systematically reviewed in the light of experience, and shown to be capable of consistently manufacturing medicinal products of the required quality and complying with their specifications. So, lahat ng processes ay dumadaan talaga sa systematic review and gathered experience na proven na talaga na makaka-produce ng consistent na medical products na pasok sa standards. Kumbaga, di siya basta-basta ginagawa or nag-formulate ng procedures or processes. Dadaan talaga siya sa maraming tests para ma-prove talaga na quality yung napoproduce. And second is, critical steps of manufacturing processes and significant changes to the process are validated. So ginagawa ito para keep track pa rin nila kung ano yung mga changes na ginawa na makakatulong kapag may mga misconceptions na nangyari sa production. And for the third one is all necessary facilities for good manufacturing practice are provided, including appropriately qualified and trained personnel. So dapat trained talaga yung mga workers natin, and adequate premises and space. Malaki yung building and spacious siya para maganda siya para mag-manufacture ka ng mga gamot, kasi imposible naman pag magawa mo yan sa maliit na space. And for another one is suitable equipment and services, correct materials, containers and labels, approved procedures and instructions in accordance with the pharmaceutical quality system, and lastly, suitable storage and transport. And for the fourth one, instructions and procedures are written in an instructional form in clear and unambiguous language, specifically applicable to the facilities provided. So for the instructions and procedures, dapat talaga instructional and dapat hindi nakasulat using jargon words para madali siyang maintindihan ng kahit kung sino, and also dapat applicable ang mga instructions kung saan ito nakaspecified. For example, kung gumawa ka ng procedures para sa maintenance department, so dapat applicable siya doon. And lastly, for this slide is the fifth one, procedures are carried out correctly and operators are trained to do so. So bago ka gumawa ng procedures, dapat make sure na talaga na correct yun, and wala lang mga kailangan pang i-change. And also hindi because na merong procedures pwede ka na lang mag-hire ng kahit kung sino. So as much as possible, idaan mo muna sa training yung mga workers, and by the time na pwede na sila, you can give them the procedures or the SOPs, then they can do the work more securely and in a correct manner. So for the last slide for good manufacturing practice for medicinal products is that records are made manually and or by recording instruments during manufacture, which demonstrates that all the steps required by the defined procedures and instructions were in fact taken, and that the quantity and quality of the product was expected. So either manually or our machine ang nag-record ng mga procedures para ma-make sure na lahat ng mga procedures and instructions na nakalagay ay sinunod, and para mas mataas yung expectation nila about sa kanilang products. And next one is any significant deviations are fully recorded, investigated with the objective of determining the root cause and appropriate corrective and preventive action implemented. So pag may mga difference na nag-appear, so din yun, nire-record din yun para pag in case merong something na nangyari, mas na-start nila yung mas madali silang maka-investigate kung anong pinagsimulan nito, and para mas maganda yung corrective and preventive action na magagawa nila. And for the eighth one is records of manufacture, including distribution which enable the complete history of a batch to be traced, are retained in a comprehensible and accessible form. So pag na-distribute yung gamot, madali ay dapat na nire-retain ito ng company ng madali and with no hassle. Kasi pag may something na nangyari sa dyan na batch na dinistribute, kunwari may defects or for recall sila, so madali silang matrace and madali din silang maparecall para maiwasan ang pagbili ng mga tao nito, which can cause problems in their health. And for the ninth guideline, the distribution of the products minimizes any risk to their quality and takes account of good distribution practice. So pag gumawa ka ng gamot, then pumasa sa quality control, so good yung ng quality ng pinadala nyo. So, also, tinatransport man yan. So, kailangan din mag-follow ng good distribution practice para sa pag-travel ng pag-transport ng mga gamot, hindi ito masisira and maapektuhan yung quality. And for the last one, a system is available to recall any batch of product from sale or supply. So kung binebenta na yung or sinusupply yung gamot, tapos may nakitang defects doon and yung organoleptic na mga aspects nito is hindi nakatugma and yung packaging naapektuhan. So a system is always available to recall any batch. So kaya nga importante yung sa number 8 na dapat complete history of a batch are traced and retained in a comprehensible and accessible form para madali silang ma-recall in kasong may mga defects na nangyari.
So now we are at the quality control. So quality control is part of good manufacturing practice, which is concerned with sampling, specifications, and testing. And aside from it, they also focuses with the organization, the documentation, and the release of procedures that would ensure that every product that will be out in the market would have a satisfactory quality. So they pass this test in order for it to be satisfactory. But before a quality control could give that certain test, of course, they need to pass a basic requirements. So those requirements are the following. First, we need to have an adequate facilities, trained personnel, and approved procedures that are available for sampling and testing starting materials, packaging materials, and finished products. It must also be appropriate for monitoring environmental conditions for GMP purposes. Next, we need to remember that samples of starting materials, packaging materials, and finished products are taken by approved personnel and methods. We need to also to remember that every test methods must be validated. Next, we need to have a records, even it is manually or by a recording instrument. So any deviations must be fully recorded and investigated. Next, any finished products that contain active ingredients must comply with the qualitative and quantitative composition of marketing authorization or clinical trial authorization. Next, we need to have a product assessment that includes a review and evaluation of relevant production documentation and an assessment of deviations from specified procedures. Next, we need to remember that no batch of product is released for sale or supply prior to a certification by an authorized person. And lastly, we need to have a sufficient relevant samples of starting materials and products that are retained in accordance with Annex 19.
Next is product quality review. So product quality review is a mechanism to ensure that data captured by the Pharmaceutical Quality System, or PQS, is reviewed for trends. PQRS are designed for the purpose of identifying and implementing recommendations for required improvements. The main objectives of a PQR is that all licensed medicinal products should have regular periodic or rolling quality reviews, and also when exporting the products. This should be conducted with the aim of verifying consistency or accuracy with the existing process. There should be a proper specifications for both starting materials and finished products. PQRS is made to highlight trends or changes and to identify and process improvements. Note that this review should normally be conducted and documented annually. Next slide is a continuation of the previous slide. So PQR should contain or include at least a review for those from new sources, and in particular the review of supply chain traceability of active substances. Second is a review of in-process and finished product result. Third, there should be a review of all batches that failed to meet the established specifications and their investigations to know what to improve or to change in this area. Fourth, a review of all significant deviations and the effectiveness of resultant where corrective and preventive actions are taken. Fifth, wherein a review of all changes carried out to the processes or analytical methods. Next slide is there should be a review of submitted marketing authorizations variation, the granted or refused, and including dossier only in export. Next is a review of all quantity related returns and the complaints and recalls. Next review is for the new marketing authorizations and post marketing commitments. Then a review of the qualification status of relevant equipments and utilities such as HVAC, water, and compressed gases, and etc. Lastly is the review of contractual arrangement to ensure that they are up to date.
Next, under the pharmaceutical quality system, the manufacturer and, if different, the marketing authorization holder should document issues identified through the product quality review in a corrective and preventive action or CAPA and consider the need for revalidation. There should be management procedures for ongoing management and review of PQRs, and the effectiveness of this procedure should be verified during self-inspection. The quality reviews may be categorized by product type such as solid dosage forms, liquid dosage forms, sterile products, and etc. In cases when multiple manufacturers are involved or the marketing authorization holder is not the manufacturer, the responsibilities of each party in the PQR process will be documented in a GMP or technical agreement, which should be in place to enable production of PQRs. And lastly, the marketing authorization holder and the authorized person in charge of final batch certification are both responsible for ensuring that the PQR is accurate and performed in a timely manner.
Risk can be defined as the probability of the occurrence of harm and its severity. And as we all know, risk is inevitable, and so the quality risk management is a systematic process for assessing, controlling, communicating, and reviewing risk to the quality of the medicinal product. Simply put, QRM evaluates and assesses the possible risks in the making of the medicinal product. Moreover, it can be applied proactively and retrospectively, or in the event na nangyari or mangyayari pa. The principles of QRM are 1. The evaluation of risks to quality is based on scientific knowledge and experience with the process and ultimately links to the protection of the patient. And 2. The level of effort, formality, and documentation of the quality risk management process is commensurate with the level of risk. So, an example of the process and application of QRM is found inter alia in Annex 20 or the ICH Q9. International Conference on Harmonization or ICH Guideline 9, quality risk management represents the first internationally recognized guideline specifically addressing QRM for pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical industries. Here, we can find the general risk management process, risk management methods and tools like failure mode effects and analysis, preliminary hazard analysis or the PHA, and many more, as well as the potential application for quality risk management such as the production, packaging, and labeling, and many more. That is all for Chapter 1, Pharmaceutical Quality System. We are the Group 1. Thank you for listening and have a good day.